Chapter 1: The Relationship Housing Market.
The market you're actually dating in.
Modern dating can feel less like romance and more like searching for something livable in a city you didn't design. There are endless listings, constant noise, and a steady pressure to decide quickly. One date can feel like a promising open house, while the next feels like you've been lured into a place with great lighting and terrible plumbing. This book uses a simple framework. Men are not projects or prizes, they are environments. And a relationship is not a trophy. It's a place you live emotionally, mentally, and practically. A house has curb appeal, but it also has wiring, foundations, water pressure, and maintenance demands. Some homes are thrilling to visit, but exhausting to live in. Others are plain on the outside and quietly safe on the inside. When you view dating like a housing market, you stop asking, "Is he impressive?" and start asking, "What would my daily life feel like here?" This chapter is about the market itself, the forces shaping what you're shown, what you're drawn to, and why it can feel like there are either too many options or none at all. Why the analogy works, and why it's not dehumanizing. Calling someone a house might sound reductive until you notice what the metaphor actually protects you from. It steers you away from rating men like products and toward evaluating compatibility like living conditions. It gives you language for the things that matter after the first rush: consistency, emotional climate, stability, and the ongoing cost of being close to someone. You're not deciding whether a man is good enough. You're deciding whether the environment he creates matches the relationship you want to live in. A house metaphor also makes one truth easier to accept without shame. Your standards are not vanity. They are your safety codes. If you've ever stayed too long in something that looked beautiful but felt anxious, you already understand this. Supply, demand, and the myth of plenty of fish. Dating apps and social media create the impression of unlimited supply. The scrolling feels like inventory. The endless profiles suggest that if something doesn't work, you can just replace it. But supply isn't the same as availability. Plenty of people are visible, but not everyone is emotionally accessible, consistent, or ready to build a life. Some are in transitional phases. Some are in love with their freedom. Some are still recovering from past relationships. Some are looking for attention more than partnership. In housing terms, a city can have thousands of buildings, but that doesn't mean there are thousands of homes you'd want to live in, or could afford emotionally. The market also plays with your sense of urgency. When you believe the good ones go fast, you may overlook red flags to secure something that seems rare. When you believe there's always someone better, you may stay in perpetual browsing mode, never learning the skills required to build something real. This book doesn't argue for settling or endlessly searching. It argues for accurate inspection. The open house stage: high charm, low information. Early dating is an open house. People clean up, stage their best features, and avoid discussing the cracks in the ceiling. That's not manipulation, it's human. Most of us reveal layers over time. The problem is that many women are trained to treat initial attraction as evidence of long-term fit. But the open house phase is designed to sell potential, not reveal maintenance costs. You might feel intensely drawn to a man who resembles a luxury penthouse, high status, charismatic, socially magnetic, with a lifestyle that makes you feel chosen and elevated. The initial attraction can be real. The question is whether the environment is livable. Will there be work-life imbalance, high external attention, and an intensity that never quiets? Or you may meet someone who feels like a vacation house, adventurous, charming, unpredictable, and thrilling. Visiting feels incredible, but it's not built for routine, conflict resolution, or steady partnership. Meanwhile, the men who resemble a country house, steady, consistent, low drama, may not create fireworks on day one. They offer emotional steadiness and reliable behavior, but the market often undervalues them because they don't trend the way flashier homes do. None of these is automatically good or bad. The point is this: early dating hides what daily life will cost you. Dating apps as listing platforms, and how they distort value. Apps are not neutral. They reward what gets clicks. In a housing market, the listings with the best photos get the most tours. In dating, the profiles with the strongest presentation get the most matches. This pushes the whole market toward performance, witty prompts, curated lifestyles, high status signals, and selective vulnerability. This is why you can feel like you keep touring beautiful places that don't hold up under inspection. The platform doesn't optimize for structural integrity. It optimizes for attention. A few distortions to watch for. Curb appeal becomes the whole evaluation. Height, photos, job titles, and confidence can function like marble countertops, eye-catching, but not proof of a stable foundation. False scarcity gets manufactured. When someone is inconsistent, it can create the illusion of rare and valuable, like a bidding war for a home that's actually overpriced. Inconsistency can feel like chemistry when it's really nervous system activation. Upgrades are confused with alignment. A man who is socially impressive may be a poor emotional fit. A man who is kind and stable may be treated as a downgrade if your nervous system is used to intensity. The market trains you to choose what looks good, not what feels good over time. Your personal budget, what you can afford emotionally. Every home has a price, and not all costs are visible. Some relationships are expensive in ways you don't realize until you move in. Constant reassurance, managing someone's moods, adapting to instability, absorbing chaos, negotiating basic respect. This book treats emotional energy like a budget. You have limited funds: attention, time, patience, libido, focus, and hope. Spending them wisely is not selfish, it's adult. A renovation project can be tempting here. Visible potential, creativity, adaptability, ambition without stability. You might think, if I invest enough, this could become amazing. Sometimes that's true. Often it becomes a long-term drain. High investment required, uncertain outcomes, and unfinished emotional development. A historic mansion can also carry hidden costs: depth, strong identity, wisdom, long-term thinking, but also significant emotional history and resistance to change. Living there might be meaningful, but you may inherit old rooms you didn't build, past pain, traditions you're expected to adopt, rules you didn't agree to. The question is not whether you can afford it during a good week. The question is what it costs during stress, conflict, illness, career pressure, or family strain. Because that's when the true mortgage shows up. Neighborhood effects. Who you become around him. A house is not only the building, it's the neighborhood. In relationships, neighborhood includes his friends, his routines, his lifestyle expectations, his relationship history, and the social environment that shapes his choices. It includes how conflict is handled in his family system and what behavior his community rewards. A luxury penthouse often comes with a loud neighborhood: events, networking, social status, external validation, high visibility. The opportunities can be real, and so can the competition, temptation, and time scarcity. A country house tends to exist in a quieter neighborhood. Routine, family orientation, consistency, predictable rhythms. This can be deeply nourishing if you want stability, and stifling if you need constant novelty to feel alive. The key is noticing what you turn into around a man. Do you feel grounded or hypervigilant? Do you feel more yourself or like you're constantly adjusting? Do you become calmer or smaller? Compatibility is not just attraction, it's what the environment elicits from you. The two biggest market mistakes: overpaying and underinspecting. Most dating pain comes from one of two errors: overpaying for curb appeal. This happens when the attraction is strong and the lifestyle is impressive, so you accept costs you wouldn't accept elsewhere. Inconsistency, emotional unavailability, chronic busyness, secrecy, or disrespect disguised as complexity. You wouldn't sign a lease because a lobby looked expensive. You'd want to know the heating works. Under-inspecting because you want it to work. This happens when you're tired, lonely, hopeful, or afraid of starting over. You minimize what you see. You explain away instability. You tell yourself you're being too picky, when what you're actually doing is ignoring information. A real inspection isn't pessimism, it's protection. This book will teach you what to inspect: foundations, character, electrical systems, emotional stability, plumbing, communication, and hidden structural damage, unresolved issues that leak into the relationship. Choosing a home, not winning a bid. The relationship housing market is loud, competitive, and full of persuasion. It pushes you toward urgency and performance. It tells you to chase what others want, to treat attention as proof, and to confuse intensity with intimacy. But you are not trying to win the hottest listing. You are trying to choose a relationship you can live in. As you move through this book, you'll learn to identify house types, like the luxury penthouse, historic mansion, renovation project, country house, minimalist apartment, vacation house, unfinished construction site, and haunted house, not to label men as static stereotypes, but to recognize patterns of living conditions. Your job in this market is not to become the most desirable buyer. Your job is to become an excellent evaluator of what you're being invited into, so you can say yes with clarity and no without confusion. A new question to lead with. Dating advice often starts with, "What do you want?" That matters, but it can stay abstract. Try starting with a more practical question. What kind of emotional daily life am I trying to live? Do you want calm mornings or constant stimulation, predictability or adventure, a strong family rhythm or a high social circulation lifestyle, a partner who is steady in conflict or one who escalates and withdraws? When you can name the kind of life you want, you stop being dazzled by whatever is trending on the market. You begin touring with purpose. In the next chapter, we'll separate what looks good at the curb from what holds up structurally. Because the relationships that last aren't the ones with the best photos. They're the ones that feel safe, stable, and real once the door closes and it's just the two of you inside.